Hello, everyone, and welcome to Harv's World for another beautiful day in Italy. This is episode 5 of Ischia Farm, and I am out just checking out our fields. Field 27 has our wheat crop in it, and that is ready to harvest. And look at this, our grapes are finally starting to grow up a little bit. Yes, they are slow growing, but they are definitely coming along quite nicely. Before we get too involved, I would like to say welcome to David Barnett, Glenn, and Kyle Cheeseborough. Kyle Cheeseborough has the distinction of being subscriber number 200. Can you believe it? It wasn't that long ago. I was surprised to be reaching 150, and now we're at 200. Thank you all so much for being part of the channel. I really appreciate you all being here. I can't believe we got into 200 this quickly. We are not exactly growing like lightning, but we are doing remarkably well for a little small YouTube channel like Harv's World. So thank you very, very much. Now, I need to bring you up to speed a little bit. We're just going to get back over here to the farm. And I'll let you know, you can see we've got $181,000 at the moment. And, well, I've spent the last couple days doing some contracts, and quite a few contracts. You can see our cedar is nice and dirty, but let me show you. We'll just look at our finance screen real quick, and you can see on Friday, this was the day you all tuned in for. I did a couple more contracts, harvested some wheat, and ended up with 38,000 that day. We did 31,000 yesterday, yesterday. And I sold off some corn that I harvested, so we've got $19,000 in harvest income. So we are doing well there, and wheat is coming up. Now, off that wheat field I harvested, I did end up with an extra 20, almost 25,000 liters. I've got that in the silo right now, and we're looking at a respectable price on our sorghum. Now, I said 1,800, but I think I'm going to go ahead and sell. I really do, because we can use the money, and I think we might be heading in the right direction to get real close to our pigs today. Now, I'm going to show you again. We've covered this once before, but I am looking at fields 7, 8, and 9 right here. This section, that's going to cost $163. I have the money to buy that right now. I'm going to wait just a little bit and see how much we end up with today. But one nice thing was contracts kept popping up for field 9. And what's nice about that is they were both fertilizing contracts, a couple $1,000s a piece. If I buy that today, I just got paid to fertilize my own land. That is a pretty sweet deal. Now, the other thing that's nice about that is it's got sugar beets on it. And sugar beets are going to be a good start toward feeding our pigs. So I can harvest that sugar beet, throw it in the silo, and get a good start on our piggies. But the first thing we got to do is get wheat off the field. So I need to grab our harvester. We've got that big crop. That price is moving up nicely, and I want to be able to sell off today. So we need to get that in. We're definitely going to do that. Come on, baby. Let's grab our header. Not going to do much with a harvester that doesn't have a header on it, right? Right. Now I'll tell you, the cornfield that I harvested, it's the one right up here next to our fields. And it was no small chore, because that thing leads right up to the edge of a cliff on the back of our property. And yeah, nothing minor about this cornfield. It's not the biggest, but just a little bit tough getting that first headland pass done. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Since this is not planted at the moment, I might as well just borrow the field to get set up. Man, I can't believe 200. Just amazing. Thank you all so much, really. Oh. I'm so impressed I keep hitting the wrong button now. Okay. Try not to smash too many great plants. Now we should have a pretty darn good harvest coming off this field, because we had this field fully prepped, so we should be at 100%. And I expect this harvester to fill up early and often. So, I don't know. I'm going to hazard a guess at about 100,000 liters a week. That would be nice, especially at that. We're at like 1,150 right now. Let's take a look again. 1137, and the price is still going up. So, hopefully by the time we get this field harvested, we will be loaded for bear. Okay. Yeah, see, we're at 25% already. So I'm going to go grab... Yeah, I'm going to grab the Fent. And I'm going to grab our Valzelli trailer. Pardon my horrible... my horrible Italian accent. It's just a thing. So yeah, our grapes are growing up. Hopefully within a few days, within another day or two, they'll start pushing toward a harvest of their own. Now, one nice thing about the grapes, I believe, I'm reasonably sure about this, is that we can harvest them and they will grow back. I almost think they're like a permanent plant. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure yet, but that's what I suspect. It might be like grass where we just have to fertilize it and we're done. Okay, now I keep talking about Follow Me and using it, and I showed you how to set up a little bit of course play last time, so let's talk about Follow Me for a second. So, if I want a helper to get set up to load grain from my harvester, well, I'm going to pull up behind the harvester. I'm going to hold the right control button. No, I don't want course play. I'm going to hold the right control button and hit F, and you can see that we now have this tractor going into follow mode, and it's already been set up to some degree, so I'll show you exactly how that sort that out. So if you hit if you hold that control button and you hit either D or A, you can shift the offset. So you can almost see where it's shifting to 9, now it's at 10. And for this we want to be about 10. And then if you use W and S, you can shift the distance in front and behind. So right now, and you can't see because you have to be looking at the vehicle, but right now we've set it to a behind distance of 10. We could set that to 5. We can actually make the leader ahead of us or behind us. And we want them to be behind just a little bit so that that pipe lines up with our loading trailer. So, with that said, let's see what we can do with our trailer. Throw our pipe out. Yeah, that's just about right. You can see that corn just piping right into the trailer. Now this is really, really helpful on fields like this, like cereal crops, especially wheat and barley, because the quantity is usually pretty darn high. And with the quantity coming off the field that high, you're not going to have a lot of room in your harvester, even a big harvester like this. And I was afraid of that. Our tractor got stuck. So in that situation, we're going to have to, then the worker quit working. That's one thing about Follow Me, is if the worker gets stuck, they just automatically say, "Ah, I'm done. This is no fun. I'm not doing this anymore." Drive your own tractor. And now he thinks he's blocked. Alright, let's see what we can do to get this sorted. I may just have to do a headland pass first before we can officially set him up. There isn't much room for him to work to our left at the moment. So yeah, let's just do that. I'll get the headland pass sorted out. And we'll try setting up follow me again. It just means I'll have to bring the tractor around occasionally to unload, but that's okay. So it's been a few days since we've met, and I've got a few more interesting things about Italy that you may or may not enjoy. I don't know. I know at least one subscriber, Rusty, has been enjoying the Italian trivia, and I like to learn about the countries. That's kind of why I started the world tour, was to learn something more about the countries that we have available. Now, Italy is in an annual battle with France. Not because they are bitter enemies, just because they both love wine. So, from year to year, it shifts back and forth. It seems that either Italy is the world's largest wine producer or France is. But Italy seems to have a lock on the most wine exported. Like $7 billion worth of wine exported from Italy. And this is a country we're talking about with only about 60 million people in it. Can you imagine that? I mean, the United States has about 320 million people, and we're nowhere close to being one of the largest countries, but 60 million people, and they are exporting almost $8 billion of wine every year. Now, if you throw on top of that the fact that each Italian citizen, each and every one, on average, drinks over 45 bottles of wine a year, you kind of begin to understand just how dramatic wine production is in Italy. So we are adding to that. We've got our grape vineyard over here. We are working for the Van Horns so they can help produce some of that fantastic Italian wine. Now, on top of wine, Italians love coffee. Now, keep in mind, again, we're talking about 60 million people. And those 60 million people drink 16 billion cups of espresso every year. 16 billion cups of espresso. So apparently, they're self-medicating. They're energizing up with espresso and then coming back down with wine, I think. But whatever, it sounds like they're having a really good time, because I love coffee. And not a wine fan necessarily, but I don't mind a drink every now and then, so I totally understand where they're coming from, and they seem to be doing it just the right way. You gotta love it. Now, on top of that, one thing that some people don't understand is this idea behind tryptophan. You know how turkey is supposed to have this chemical in it called tryptophan, and that's why everybody gets sleepy after a heavy Thanksgiving dinner in the United States? Well, that's a nice, fun little way to look at it. It's not exactly the truth of it. You'd have to eat like 4 whole turkeys for enough tryptophan to come in and actually affect you. But with that said, pasta. Now, what really makes people sleepy on Thanksgiving is all of the carbs. Your body is working hard to oh, that would be why. Alright, things are getting a little funky here. I'm getting distracted by talking to you fine folks and missing my keystrokes. That's the truth of it. There, that's better. Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying, carbs. Carbs are what make people sleepy after a heavy Thanksgiving dinner. It's not tryptophan. But the reason I bring that up is, we were talking about all that coffee. Well, in Italy, there are over 140 types of pasta. 140. You've got anywhere from straight spaghetti to macaroni to curly cavattini to all kinds of rotinis and all kinds of different stuff. 140, and they've been producing pasta since 400 BC. That's almost 3,000 years. That is a long, long time. So you can understand why wheat production is so important to Italy. And Italians eat 70 pounds of pasta per person. Again, we're talking about 60 million people, and each one of them is eating 70 pounds of noodles every year. So let's see. We have our coffee, get us ramped up. Then we have our pasta. Oh, and not to mention that each Italian also eats about half a pound of bread every day. Now you understand why wheat has become such a staple of the Italian diet. Half a pound of bread every day, 70 pounds of pasta every year. Yeah, we're talking about some major carbohydrate consumption. And throw a bottle of wine on top of that, that is a recipe for a really solid nap. Go to Italy and relax. Have some great food. Some very, very nice naps. You'll be a happy person. I almost guarantee it. So then I guess it's not surprising that it was an Italian immigrant to New York City who invented the first ice cream cone. Such a strong tradition of food and culture when it comes to Italy, don't you think? Now, I know that France is known for their cuisine and a lot of very technical cooking methods and such, but I can't think of a culture more associated with food than Italy. It just really seems ingrained in who they are as a people. And it's brilliant, and it's absolutely lovely. Now, it's not all that they're about. I mean, it's not just food and wine coming from Italy. We're just talking about crops here. One thing that I found interesting was that one of the biggest crops that Italy produces is tomatoes. Unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity to plant tomato crops. In fact, tomatoes are another one of their biggest agricultural exports. But it might be possible for us to start up a couple of tomato greenhouses. That could definitely be in the works. A couple of tomato greenhouses could probably sort us out nicely. They also produce citrus, like, oranges, lemons, and such. I don't know if there's a method to do some. Well, yeah. We could do placeable fruit trees, some orange trees. Maybe. But right now, all eyes are on pigs. Gots to get those pigs. And let's see, a couple more interesting facts about Italian food. Now, bread. We were talking about bread before. A lot of times in the U.S., as you go to an Italian restaurant or whatever, they will serve you bread at the beginning of a meal as kind of an appetizer. That is not the case in Italy. Italians use bread to clean up their plate, much like we end up doing sometimes, but they wait till the end of the meal and then grab the bread to sop up their sauce and get every last tasty drop off of their plates. So there's that. And then salad. I think we talked about before that salad comes at the end of a meal in Italy, not at the beginning. And you do not ask for salad dressing in Italy. There's only one acceptable dressing for salad, and that is olive oil, which makes complete sense since they're one of the world's largest exporters of olive oil. They love their olive oil, and that's the only thing they find acceptable to put on a salad. Now, as the world goes, just a sad bit of news came out today. I don't know how many of you might be fans, but Eddie Van Halen passed away. It was actually pretty shocking. I couldn't believe it. Been listening to Van Halen music, for a very long time. You'd be shocked to know how long, but Eddie Van Halen was considered one of the greatest guitar players of all time, probably in the top 10. And he was truly gifted, extremely talented man. And the reason I bring that up is because you have Italy to thank for Eddie Van Halen. They invented the guitar, amongst many other things we've talked about before. But yeah, the guitar is among the inventions from Italy. In fact, Italy is responsible for several musical instruments like the piano, the violin, and the organ. I guess the organ and piano kind of run hand in hand a little bit. They're not the same instrument, but once you've got the piano, it's probably not that far off to create an organ. Anyway, yeah, a lot of Italian inventors, actually. We talked about before, eyeglasses. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the first thermometer was invented in Italy. Yeah, a very intelligent people. A lot of great philosophers came out of Italy. And, one invention we did not talk about, but some people could not live without: the jacuzzi. You want bubbles in the tub out of an air jet? You have an Italian to thank for that. Alright, I gotta get this wheat over to the silo. We'll check our wheat price again on the way. I'm still climbing. So we're not going to sell just yet. We're going to store it up. Now, if you're a sports fan, I'm not necessarily a sports fan, but I did find it interesting that volleyball is a big, big sport in Italy. Now, it seems like everybody has a team these days, but we're talking professional volleyball, and their professional volleyball league is highly recognized in Italy. So, just found that interesting as well. Okay, well that's 42,000 liters of wheat off this field so far. We might be about halfway done. Maybe. Yeah, maybe a little bit more than half. I don't know, we'll see. And we're going to need to get this field re-prepped. I think I know what we're going to put in. Another new crop that we haven't done before. That's made available to us here, and looks like it could be reasonably lucrative. We'll see. I'm interested and also a little bit terrified by the sugar beets. I'll be honest. And the reason I say that is, well, beets and potatoes are very difficult crops to take out of the ground. But it's going to be on a small field and should bring a large quantity. That's one of the reasons that they are difficult to come out of the ground, is they are in such a large quantity that you're just constantly hauling back and forth to either your silo or to the sale point. You know, like a 1 acre field could bring in as much as 100,000 liters of potatoes or sugar beets. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but I honestly don't think I'm too far off. Anybody knows for sure, fill me in. Let me know, man. And with the money we make today, we can try to pay down some of that loan again. Some of it. We're not going to drop 250 grand again. That was just a little bit much. But we can try to get some of it. And we will. Maybe we can get 100,000. We'll see when the wheat is sold. And I'm going to get that sorghum sold today too. Even though it's not top dollar, I want the money in so that we can get started on some other projects and start having more income streams to pay down that loan faster. Okay, well, we did not end up with 100,000 liters. Unless you count what's already in the silo. We did end up with, what's that, 42 and 33, 75? Just over 75. So still, that's a good haul. A very good haul, especially if we're going to sell for 1,200. Okay. I will collect our harvester later. Well, first we are going to drop this wheat. And we're going to check our prices again. Oh, our wheat has topped out at 11.71. Our sorghum's at 16.87. Very good. Very, very good. we are going to start hauling crops. Yes, yes we are. So let's fill this bad boy up. Yeah, we might as well do wheat. I guess I shouldn't have dumped it. I should have just filled up. I didn't realize that we had topped out so quick. So, 11.71. That's a very, very good price. And that's going to the port. I think everything's going to the port. Yep. Always to the port it is. Always. Well, we are just about to find out exactly where we stand when we sell off our wheat. We're going to sell off our sorghum. Remember, we made a good chunk of change off of that sorghum straw, too. I'm going to need to bring in another... forage trailer to collect up the straw that I managed to salvage from our wheat field. So I'll lease that up, get the straw taken care of. But first, we want to maximize our cash. We are not in bad shape. Not in bad shape. You know, I really thought that the call on the bank, or by the bank, demanding money was really gonna hurt us. But nope, nope, nope. We're too good for that. We have mad farming skills. That's why the Van Horns brought us to Italy. Alright, how much is this going to pay us? Nothing if it doesn't tip. There it goes. $50,000. Just short of 50,000. 49,196. We've got at least one more of those. Well, if you can't tell, I'm pulling back into the port. This is my final load. I've got just about 27,000 liters of sorghum. We had almost 70,000 liters. Sold the first load off. It brought in $70,000. This should bring in, this is a little more than half, so we're talking another, what, 40,000 maybe? Let's find out. Either way, we are sitting pretty at the moment. Come on. There we go. $45. Look at that. We are at almost $400,000. Outstanding. I say outstanding a lot. Mostly because, well, it's true. Things are just outstanding. Although some of you might be saying, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. No, I'm pretty sure I know what it means. But remember, always remember, and don't ever forget, don't fall for the classic blunder. Never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Words to live by, or words to not die by. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, congratulations. One of the greatest movies of all time. Okay, here we go. Get this trailer parked back up again. We're gonna look and see what we can do to spend some cash. Some hard-earned cash, I might add. Drop that trailer right there. Okay. Now, our wheat brought in almost 100,000. I did not sell it all. I've got about 15,000 liters left in our silo. And the reason I kept it is because that's going to be part of making pig food. Very important. So, now that we've got some money in our pocket, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to buy the land I want. This right here, 163,000. Yes, absolutely. We are all over that. Very nice indeed. Now the next thing I'm going to do, even though we're not quite prepared for it, but I'm going to do it anyway, is I'm going to get our pig food blender, mixer, maker, candlestick maker, if I can remember where it's at. It wasn't, I don't think it was in silos. Maybe. It'd be strange if it was in decorations, but it's possible. Nope. Did I pass it? Or did I forget to install it? Oh, there it is, right there. So this is 89,000. It's steep, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper than pig food, and it's a heck of a lot easier than growing 4 different crops. We only need to grow 3. We don't have to do corn. We don't have to do sunflowers necessarily, which means we don't need a corn header right now, so we'll save money on a corn header. So, if we try to place this, and I'm going to try to get it right in this area, but this is a little bit touchy when it comes to allowing placeables. I don't want to park it out in the middle. I wonder if I turn it this way, if it works any better. And just for the record, those of you who would like to help out, yeah, I do have what's effectively Place Anywhere, the global company version active. So this is why our barnyard is remarkably open, because it's really difficult to place anything here, even with collisions turned off. Okay, so there's no effective place to put the pig food mixer up on the barnyard. So I said I wanted field 7, which is this field right here, and I want this for placeables. You know, this is where we're going to have our pig pens, things like that. So with that said, I guess I'm just going to start with that right down here, and we'll get it right down toward the end. Try to keep our costs down to 89,000 as close as we can. And we'll try about right there. Okay. Well, that works. Let's go take a look at our pig food mixer. That just cost us $89,000. So we got our new land. We got our pig food mixer. This is our sugar beet field right here. 100% fertilized by me, and I got paid to do it. Gotta love that. We got another field right here. Now, what I think I'm going to do... No, I'm not going to do that. What I thought I might do was merge fields, but I'm going to wait until they're all together because I want to get a crop in there. I really want to get a crop in there, but so you can see this pig food mixer right here. This takes cereal. We got wheat, barley, or oats. Then we need root crop here, which is going to be potatoes or sugar beets. And then here we need soybeans or sunflower seeds or canola. So what I am going to do, I'm going to grab the Fent. And we need to take a look at our land real quick, our brand new land. And we know this has been planted, but this has not. This was cultivated. What I'm really curious about, I want to make sure nobody needs lime or plowing. They do not. So, with that said, I am going to grab our plow, our subsoiler. Okay, so what I am going to do is open this bad boy up right about here. And we'll even keep the edge nice and proper like so. Drop her down. We're just going to merge these fields. And then once the soybean is in and this crop has been harvested also, we'll just merge it all and make it into one big field. And I still have plenty of room to put placeables in on field 7, but right now it's still field 7, so we will take advantage of planting that. Absolutely. The nice thing is this isn't going to take long because, well, there's not a lot to do. In fact, we're almost done, at least with this part of it. We'll just edge this right up to that other piece of property. There you go. Boom. Done. Merged fields. So we've got our new fields. We've got our wheat crop in. We sold our wheat. We sold our sorghum. And we've got this lovely pig food mixer here. I really appreciate you all coming along for the ride. I think that's going to do it for this episode of Ischia Farm. If you enjoyed the episode, learned something new, or found it entertaining, do me a favor. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. And until next time, take care.